Let's begin.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Fro Thizzle in the building. And today, I'm going to be talking about the 2005 film, War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise, directed by Steven Spielberg. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. I think Tom Cruise puts in a solid performance as Ray Ferrier. He goes from a hot-shot, fast car driving kind of guy to a protective father who'll do anything to make sure that his family survives. Ray's definitely not a good dad, but he more than makes up for it by thinking very fast to save the two kids, especially in some very intense moments. However, I did find Ray to be quite unlikable through the first half of the film, but I start to warm up to his character when he goes into protective mode. I'm usually a fan of Dakota Fanning, but she did irritate me in this movie as Ray's daughter, Rachel. She hates her dad, which I understand, but when it came to life or death situations, I found Rachel to be a bit grating and annoying. One scene comes to mind. Ray's driving Rachel and his son Robbie in the van trying to get away from the tripod. While Ray's trying to concentrate, Rachel's yelling, "I want my mom, I want my mom, I want my mom." And I'm thinking, this guy does suck as a dad, but for the past 15-20 minutes or so, he's been saving the hell out of both of you. There are moments near the end where I do start to warm up to Rachel, just a bit. But for the first half, I did not care for her. Tim Robbins pops up in the last half of the film, and I love his performance. I will admit that he is a bit over the top as Harlan Ogilvy, but I really enjoyed his work here. He's very sketchy and even unnerving. And I personally think that Tim Robbins and his performance is the saving grace for the last half of the film. I think the alien design is decent. I will admit that there are some moments where the CGI feels a bit dated. I like how the tripods look, but I did mind how the alien antenna with the camera looked. I do love the droning sound that comes out of the tripod. It used to creep me out as a kid, and I still find it pretty effective. There's great moments of cinematography. There's an awesome scene where Dakota walks up to a river and she sees a body floating by. A few seconds later, a lot more bodies start floating by. It sounds very simple, and it is, but I love this moment and I loved how it was shot. There's a nice shot where Ray and Rachel, that's pretty funny, are walking through the woods in the last half of the film. And there's a nice shot where the clothes from the evaporated people start falling from the sky. In terms of camera work, I despise shaky cam. But whenever Spielberg does it, I don't mind it. Saving Private Ryan has some shaky cam, but it was one of the very few times where I thought the shaky cam style added to that type of film. So again, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the shaky cam in this film didn't bother me too much. The writing can be pretty bad and heavy-handed at times. One moment comes to mind. When Ray and the kids are getting attacked near the start in the van, Rachel out of nowhere yells out, "Is it terrorist? Is it terrorist?" This line just really felt completely out of place and out of nowhere. Then Robbie repeats it later, "Is it terrorists?" Maybe it was just the way that it was said or the direction that it was given, but it just felt very heavy-handed and distracting. There's one argument scene between Ray and Robbie that I really hated. He wants to fight back at the aliens and prove himself and fight for humanity, but he doesn't realize how massively outnumbered they are by the aliens and the gigantic tripods. I hated the Robbie character. I couldn't stand him. The ending starts to crash and burn for me. I highly enjoyed Tim Robbins and his crazy for Cuckoo Cocoa Puffs character, but I didn't like the scene with the alien camera antenna thing searching around the place. Didn't hate these alien reveals, but I didn't love them either. My biggest problem with the film might be the logic. Near the end, Ray blows up an alien while being trapped with a bunch of people. The pod they're in gets disconnected and falls 60-something stories from the sky to the ground. But everybody in the pod's fine. No depiction of broken bones or deaths or broken necks. Everybody's fine. How does Tom Cruise's car work in the first half and everybody else's doesn't? Manny the mechanic switching around the thing in Tom Cruise's van wasn't believable enough for his to stand out amongst everybody else's car. And last but not least, Tom Cruise takes a fucking shovel hit to the face by Tim Robbins. He has barely any reaction and he shakes it off like he got slapped with a piece of paper. It goes to show that even a highly accomplished director can still have some really goofy moments, even if they can be unintentional. As much as I like the alien element of the film, I found the people to be scarier. There's some very intense moments when people are reacting to the aliens and they go into survival mode and they start thinking about themselves. It's pretty scary what people will do when they're under life or death pressure. The ferry scene comes to mind. When the tripods are coming and they're about to wipe out everybody, the captain of the boat says, "Oh, split it up. Nobody else is allowed to come on board. We gotta go." And they leave hundreds and hundreds of people out there to get massacred. But overall, despite the flaws that I have with this film, I do enjoy War of the Worlds. We have a great performance from Tom Cruise, great sound design, some great looking cinematography here and there, and we even have some nice creepy moments with the aliens. But the movie also suffers from questionable dialogue, unlikable characters, and illogical moments that are distracting. I'm gonna give War of the Worlds 2005 a 7.5 out of 10. Thank y'all for watching. It's been your boy Fro Thizzle. Stay tuned for more and subscribe. Leave some comments below too. Peace.